It's getting late. Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm going inside.
Oh? I'm afraid St. George's is closed for the day.
I'm not a customer. I'm here to see the owner.
Why don't you just leave your name and number with me, and I'll tell him you stopped by.
Listen, if Gabriel is here, he'll want to see me. Is he? Here?
I really couldn't say for certain, but in the morning...
Gracie, say goodnight.
Ah! Und sie mag ihn. Sie mag ihn. Habt das gesehen gerade eben. Er macht jetzt Dummheiten.
You came. I didn't think you would.
Weiß.
I didn't think I would either.
Your eyes. I could show you around a little. It's not much, but...
Please don't. I couldn't focus on much of anything right now.
Yeah, I know. God, what is it about you?
Just shut up and kiss me.
Ist noch nicht 22 Uhr. Passt genau. Ach, es ist schon wieder spulend. Jetzt wird's hell und sie geht raus, richtig? Nee, ich weiß mit Mon Pierre. Weiß ich. Ich sprach mit ihm trotz Geruch des Todes. Er lieh mir seine Ohren, Kreuze der Markierung, wurden Schleier der Tränen. Es klang halt bis so Mon Pierre. Ach, mein Pierre. Sie wäre fast überrannt worden. Und Grace muss jetzt echt innerlich aufgewühlt sein. Der Kopfschmerz, aber kein Albtraum. Immer. Das ist sein zweiter Vorname. Dummheit. Sein dritter ist Shovi. Sein vierter Blindgänger. Also Blindmann hier.
You're not speaking to me this morning?
Don't be silly. I just have nothing to say.
Have it your way. Have you noticed this guy outside the shop?
Oh,
Yeah,
jetzt sehe ich
he
den
gives
auch.
me the creeps. I wish he'd go away.
Did you find out anything about that pattern I gave you?
Yeah, I did find something. I checked the microfiche at the public library. I found an article about a murder in 1810. The newspaper published part of a pattern found around the body. It looks damn close.
You're incredible. All that work.
Forget it.
Oh, der ist creepy hier drüben. Bum, 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 bum.
Get the hell out of here.
The figure outside does not respond. Gabriel watches the man watching the shop.
Bam, bam. Vielleicht will er ein Buch kaufen. Bam, 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 bam.
Time stated June 21st, 1993. Gabriel's eye is immediately drawn to an article about the voodoo murders. He scans it quickly.
I don't believe this. They've closed the case.
What
Mini-Fische.
case?
The voodoo murders case. The paper says that the police have learned that the murders were a result of an underworld cartel war, and that the war is over.
That's not good?
It's ridiculous. And what about the killers? And the voodoo angle, they never got anything on that.
I know you were into it, Gabriel, but if it's over, that's hardly a negative. Anyway, if you're that upset, why don't you talk it over with your pal Mosley?
You don't get it, Grace. Just forget it, okay?
Gabriel decides to check his horoscope, despite his disgust. Death walks close to you today. Resist temptation lest his eye fall on you, too.
Peachy.
Gabriel also spots an ad for Sam Springleton, a jeweler. Sam hangs out at the Napoleon House.
Der Tod schaut nach Opfern Um ihnen nicht so aufzufallen, heißt es heute Versuchung widerstehen. Das hat ja gut geklappt. Aber hier, die Voodoo-Morde sind vorbei. Unsere Ermittlung schließt richtig fest, da die Morde ein Nebenprodukt von einem Krieg zwischen Drogenkartells war. Komm mal bei die Oma, ja, erklärt Mosley gestern auf einer Pressekonferenz. Dieser Krieg ist jetzt vorbei und die Einwohner New Orleans haben von diesen Kriminellen nichts weiter zu befürchten. Ja, Mikrofische. Die Polizei versicherte weiterhin gezielt gegen das illegale Drogengeschäft in New Orleans zu kämpfen, nachdem mehrere Menschen in diesem Machtstreit ums Leben kamen. Bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. So, wir haben hier was bekommen.
The newspaper clipping describes a ritualistic murder in Congo Square. It includes a rough sketch of a pattern found around the body. The sketch is very similar to the reconstructed Veve. It's a newspaper clipping from the year 1810.
Okay.
Get the hell out of here.
The figure outside does not respond.
Okay.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
In New Orleans?
I think so.
No, I don't, but it sounds dangerous. You're not gonna try to find this voodoo group yourself, are you?
Would I do that?
Ja.
Do you have messages for me?
Your grandmother called.
Oh.
She said to remind you to stop by and go through your father's things.
Okay. Do you have messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours.
Interesting. Can I get that phone number for Wolfgang Ritter?
Wolfgang.
Sure, I'll give it to you when we're done talking.
Denk dran, ne? Die Wolfgang.
Here's that phone number.
Thanks.
Wow. Wow, wow. Oh! Hör auf, das ist ja. Bam, 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 bam.
Wolfgang Ritter's phone number, written in Grace's pretty scrawl.
Oh, süß.
The number written on the note is 4909-324-3333.
Didn't Grace say you had to dial 011 first to get international?
Ah, danke für den Hinweis. Aber meint, was ist denn bitte schön die Vorwahl 009 in Deutschland? Bam, 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 bam. Nee, jetzt mal im Ernst, was ist denn die Vorwahl 009? Also 089 hätte ich ja jetzt erwartet. Wäre vielleicht auch richtig gewesen im Münchner Umland. Süddeutschland, okay. 009 ist Süddeutschland? Nee. Ist wahrscheinlich ein Dorf. 090. Oder, pass auf, oder ist es 0, nee, das geht gar nicht. 9324. Nee, wir haben ja eine 940 vorne. Das ist Deutschland. Dann lässt man die erste Null normalerweise weg. Es könnte natürlich auch sein, dass es das könnte ein kleiner Miniaturort sein. Pass mal auf hier.
The number written on the note
09324.
4909-324.
Und Ortsnummer 3333. Das könnte sein.
Didn't Grace say you had to dial 011 first to get international?
Das könnte sein. 09324. Na, das ist die Ortsvorwahl. Was ist ein 032? Oh, jetzt wollen wir gucken. 09324. Vorwahl. 09324 ist Düllstadt. Oder Dettelbach. Biebergau oder Neuses Berg, Stadt Dittelbach. Ey, das könnte sogar passen. Ritterberg. Das könnte passen, oder? So, und dann ist das ein kleiner Ort, deswegen haben sie bloß eine vierstellige Ortsnummer, ne? Vielleicht ist sogar noch ein Amtsanschluss, also 33-0 oder so. Krass.
Er kannte sich aus.
Was für Dinge wusste er?
So Zeug.
So Zeug halt. Der Wolfgang. Gab's da nicht, nee, Born to be Wild war ja nicht von der Wolfgang, oder? Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.
Didn't Grace say you had to dial 011 first to get international?
011.
I'm not calling Germany. That Wolfgang Ritter guy says he's a relative, but I've never heard of him.
Bestimmt gibt's jetzt Oma, oder? Ja, da war gerne noch glücklich. Ach ja, damals. Ja, wer ruft ja? Ach, die Musik. Guck mal, wie hübsch die Oma mal war, ne?
Gabriel, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Stop by? Das ist aber nicht deutsch.
Oh, sorry, it's been a while, Grandma.
Not at all. Give me a kiss.
Now come on, sit down. Tell me how you're doing.
Sie ist eifersüchtig. Grace ist halt vernarrt in uns hier. Das ist Oma, aber Oma müsste doch einen Akzent haben, Deutschen, oder? War das nicht so, dass seine Großeltern aus, ich wollte gerade sagen Russland, warum auch, aus Deutschland emigriert sind in die Staaten? Wow! Und ich habe gerade Kaminismus gelesen. Ich habe überlegt, was das ist. Was das für eine Religion ist. Aber ich guck mal erstmal die Bilder hier.
On the wall are portraits of Gran and Granddad when they were young. Gabriel's inherited some good-looking genes.
Ich weiß, das sind Jeans im Sinne von Gene, ne? Aber er hat auch gut aussehende Jeans an. Ach so, meinst du das? Er hat aber Großeltern gesagt, glaube ich.
Gabriel grew up in this room. Just being here makes him feel safe.
So,
And after about 5 minutes, claustrophobic.
also das hier auf alle Fälle typische Wand, ne?
Mostly pictures of Gabriel, his dad, and Harrison Knight.
Harrison ist sein Papa, okay? Wie ist ein Papa
Well,
gestorben?
Gran, I'd better get going.
Nein!
Don't take any wooden nickels, boy.
I'm trying, Gran.
Ich komm wieder, Oma.
Gabriel, my love, how nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Gran.
Meinst du, nee. Ich glaube, Wolfgang ist so alt wie unser Papa. Oder? Das würde Sinn ergeben. Der kann das. Aber okay, ich gucke hier so, Kaminismus, hä? Ja, aber Gerde und Wolfgang, ich meine, das ist ja, Gerde war zarte 30 und Wolfgang war ja dann 80? Wolfgang Junior? Wer ist denn Wolfgang Junior? Nee, das ist der Wolfgang, der uns anruft. Das ist nicht Wolfgangs Papa. Das ist Wolfgang. Wir werden es gleich erfahren, denke ich mal. Ich rede mal mit Oma, ja? Ich rede mal mit Oma. Hey, Oma.
How have you been, Gran?
Just fine, dear. I'm sorry I bothered you at work, but, I was hoping you'd get a chance to go through your father's things in the attic.
Things,
Don't
okay.
be silly. You can call me anytime.
Genau, Oma. Das ist wie mit meiner Oma. Die kann mich auch jederzeit anrufen. Bin immer für meine Oma da. Ist die letzte, die da ist. Von der direkten Verwandtschaft. So, Omi. Voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? What an odd question, Gabriel. Of course, you always were interested in monster movies and all that other weird stuff. You get that from your father and granddad. I don't know anything about it, dear. Of course, it was very big in New Orleans at one time, but you don't hear so much about it these days.
Was für Dinge
Too much
wusste
else in the world
So
to
toll.
worry about, I guess.
Genau, Wolfgang ist Gabriels Onkel. Also der Bruder von unserem Papa. Unser Papa ist aber nicht mehr. Die Mutter auch, glaube ich, nicht. Ne? Wir haben nur noch Oma. Und ich glaube, die Großeltern sind emigriert und Wolfgang ist zurückgeblieben. Also in Deutschland. Ach so. Ja, stimmt. Könnte sein, dass sie nur eine Eingeheiratete ist. Das stimmt. Ja. Kann möglich sein. Sie sagt ja auch, das hast du von deinem Großvater und von deinem Papa. Ach, Frank, weißt doch, was ich meine.
What can you tell me about the voodoo murders?
Oh, Gabriel, nothing. And I don't want to. I sometimes wonder what this world is coming to.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Knowledge.
New Orleans is very southern, of course, though not as much as it used to be when I was a girl. It's gotten much more influenced by the East Coast and that California stuff. Still, it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here.
Ich weiß. Eben drum. Okay, sie scheint wirklich hier aus New Orleans zu kommen. Und unser Großvater hat sich sie geschnappt. Ganz einfach.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
My goodness, boy, you lived here all your life, just like me. I can't tell you much that you don't already know.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? I remember when I was a girl, we always had a St. John's Eve Mass. The Mass was said at midnight, and we held candles. One time, on the way home, we were waylaid by a large group of drunken revelers. They didn't hurt us, but, oh, I was frightened. My father was furious. We never went to St. John's Eve Mass after that.
Okay, ich verstehe immer Mess wie Mist, Scheibenkleister, ja.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I haven't celebrated it in years, Gabriel. I'm sure there's still Mass in the more traditional churches, but I don't go.
Vor allem, wenn man es mit dem Kontext dann immer hört, dann passt das auch immer.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
Marie Laveau. Oh, of course. She was that voodoo woman, wasn't she? She preyed on people's fears and superstitions, is what I think. There are always those willing to take other people's money for nothing. You stay away from people like that, Gabriel.
Yes, Gran. Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? What kind of snakes, dear?
I don't know, local kinds.
Well, we used to get cottonmouths in the park when I was a girl, but I haven't heard of one being sighted for years. Milk snakes and garter snakes are also around these parts, but they can't hurt you.
Thanks, Gran.
Schlechten. Ich dachte, die sind in Europa.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Why, no, dear. Do you mean Mardi Gras masks?
Never mind, Gran. Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
Gabriel, my goodness. What are you up to these days?
Oh, nothing, Gran, really.
You'd better not be. You know you're the only family I have left.
I know, Gran. It's okay.
Ja, sind ja auch, heißen ja auch Schleichen, ne? Nicht Schlangen. Sonst wär's ja eine Blindschlange.
Does the phrase Cabri Sanko mean anything to you?
Something without something, I think. Oh, my French is so rusty, I swear my mind is going.
No, it's okay. Thanks. Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
What, dear?
Never mind.
Ich muss sich auch wie bei einem Tribunal, ne? Sich fühlen hier.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
What, dear?
Never mind. Tell me about yourself.
Me? Surely you have something more interesting to talk about.
No, come on, Gran.
Oh, all right, dear. What do you want to hear?
Was machst du so? Was machst du den ganzen Tag?
What do you do all day?
You know how I love to knit and work in my garden. I also take long walks. It's the only way to keep an old body like mine from stiffening up.
You're not old.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'm older than the hills.
Nee, glaube ich doch.
Tell me about before you met Granddaddy.
Well, you know I was born Rebecca Wright.
Ah.
My daddy owned a lot of land outside of town.
Ah, Südstaatenschönheit.
Peas and corn and cotton, all kinds of things.
Ah, und damals noch die
It
anderen
was a good
Leute.
childhood,
Ja.
but my father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
Okay, sie hatten auch Baumwolle. Das heißt, es ist wirklich eine Südstaatenschönheit gewesen. Wer weiß, was noch 1 oder 2 Generationen vorher die Eltern so gemacht haben. Jetzt. Opa-Treffen.
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
Oh, I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then, a big fella named Reverend Jim. I even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend, Alma. And at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fine brimstone annex. And a piece of it, one of those small add-on do's for men, went flying off. I swear, Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed. We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. Oh, it was then I knew that he was from me.
Okay.
How you feeling these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
Okay.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddaddy and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies whether he wanted to or not.
Hat er geerbt. Siehst du, er kann nichts dafür, es sind die Gene. Das war schon bei seinem Großvater so. Wer weiß, wie es bei seinem Vater war. Es sind die Gene. Grace, es sind die Gene. Auch du wirst es eines Tages feststellen, es sind die Gene.
Just tell me anything at all.
I get lonely sometimes, but I have lots of girlfriends in the neighborhood. I call one of them if I'm feeling blue.
Aber es stimmt doch. Hat sie selber gesagt. Unsere fast einzige Verwandte noch.
Just tell me anything at all.
I wish you'd settle down and give me a great-grandchild.
Oh, Gran.
Na, Gabriel.
Just tell me anything at all.
I never loved any man but your grandfather. And I never will.
Aber stimmt schon, ne? Wer führt denn das Erbe der Rittersten weiter? Wolfgang ist ja nicht mehr da.
Oh, nothing. Never
Also
mind.
später.
All right, dear.
Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
Ja, wir fangen erstmal bei... Harrison war der Opa, okay.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He walked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad supported me and your father with bookkeeping. Oh, I tell you what, though, he hated every minute of it. Didn't really like bookkeeping one bit. Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. Oh, the nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he lost another.
Ich hab
And I'd
Nazi
tell him
verstanden.
it didn't matter to me, but he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Möglich, also... Wer weiß, was beim Biskette ist, ne?
Tell me something about Granddad.
Harrison was only 36 when he died. Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. It took me nearly a year to believe he was really gone.
I'm sorry, Gran.
Oh, I know you are, dear.
Und seitdem ist sie Single?
Tell me something about Granddad.
Did you know that your granddad was a poet? He was. He wrote the most beautiful poetry for me when we were courting. I always thought he should have done something with that gift, but he was such a practical man. Didn't believe in chasing after dreams.
Nee, erst Schürzenjäger, dann Schattenjäger.
Tell me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him.
Oh.
Tell me about my father.
Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. Oh, they were two peas in a pod.
Tell me about my father.
When Philip met your mother, oh, it was love at first sight. They were married 2 weeks later. Never looked at a girl seriously until then, and he looked at plenty. You have your father's way with women, Gabriel. And your granddad's.
Siehst du, es ist genetisch, das sagt sie normal. Ja. Aber er hat ja nichts gemacht im dritten Teil. Hat ja bloß so getan, als ob er Schürzen jagt. Hat aber nur Augen für sie. Nur.
Tell me about my father.
I wanted to just lay down and die when he and your mother were killed in that car crash when you were only 8. It was the thought of taking care of you that kept me going, Gabriel. The police say your father swerved off the road after being frightened by something. Perhaps a deer in the road or wildcat.
Tell me about my father.
Your granddad wanted Philip to have a normal life. He was obsessed by that thought. He pushed Philip to go to law school, but Philip was driven to art. He painted almost in a daze. He would get so inside himself when he worked.
Tell me about my father.
He always hated that it was Margaret's money that supported the three of you when his painting couldn't. I kept telling him, try something more cheerful, like a landscape or two, but he couldn't do it. His work was just too dark and disturbing for the public, you know.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked to find her family. Since you're so interested in family history these days, why don't you go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb? It would be such a sweet gesture.
It's just past the Ross tomb, right? Oh, maybe I will.
Hinweis.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother's family refused to give her money after the marriage. All she had left was a modest trust fund from her great aunt, who happened to like Philip. The remainder of your mother's trust fund became yours when she died. That's what you used to open your bookshop.
Also hat er eigentlich noch Geld oder ist das alles da reingeflossen? Aber ansonsten, seine Oma hatte noch Geld, oder?
Tell me about my mother.
The Templetons are all gone now. Every last one of them. Oh, they never wanted anything to do with us, of course. What a waste.
You know, you get prettier every time I see you.
Oh, you.
Have you baked any of your incredible molasses pies lately?
No, dear. But you let me know when you want some and I'll whip up a half a dozen.
Ich will ein.
You've lost weight. Are you courting a new man?
Oh, Gabriel. Don't be silly. You know there'll never be anyone but your granddad for me.
Your hair looks very pretty today, Gran.
Well, thank you, dear. So does... Well, you've always had such nice, thick hair, Gabriel.
You know, I always tell people that my Gran is the prettiest grand old belle in the city.
Oh, dear. You shouldn't talk so.
What's new, Gran?
I've been working on baby sweaters for the church bazaar. Keeps me busy.
Okay, war es ja so unterschwellige Botschaft?
Done anything interesting lately?
I raised you.
Lately, Gran.
Oh, you know me, Gabriel. I always got my nose poked in something.
It must run in the family. You're looking well, Gran.
Oh, thanks, dear.
Stimmt.
Is there anything you need?
Me? No, I'm just fine, Gabriel. I have more than enough of everything.
Nice weather.
Oh, Gabriel, please. It's been just awful. Muggiest summer of my life.
Warum?
Are you okay, Gran?
I'm right as rain, boy.
Oh,
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
All right, dear.
I'm gonna go up to the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
These old picture frames have been up here for years.
Fahrradreifen? Das ist ein Fahrradreifen?
I think I'll leave that up here.
Oh, ich wollte mitnehmen.
It's an old, dusty bicycle tire.
Nähvorlage.
Do I really look that desperate?
Was? Ach so,
I think
benutzen.
I'll leave that up here.
It's an old dress dummy that Gran had in her sewing room years ago.
My first impression of the female form.
So, quasi Idealzustand.
I think I'll leave that up here.
Okay, was ist das hier? Eine Uhr?
An
Uralte
elaborate
Uhr.
mechanical clock, probably of German origin, is among the discarded treasures of the attic.
Ich kann nicht drücken. Oh. So, 5 vor 12. Schlüssel noch, Verzierung.
There's an interesting design in the base of the clock.
Okay.
It looks pretty heavy. There's a lot of Granddad's old stuff in here. Might be something interesting.
Okay, Wimmelbildalarm. Ein Bierkrug. Ach, guck mal, ein Schäferhund.
Some old clothes, including a pair of leather shorts,
Are those
Lederhosen.
called lederhosen?
Ja, Lederhosen. Kreuz. Guck mal, das kennen wir irgendwo, das Schloss. Was, der Hund? Könnte von Glover sein, ja? Oh,
What's this? It's some sort of key.
Guck mal hier, Briefe.
A bundle of letters. Love letters between Harrison and Rebecca.
So. Wann ist er ausgewandert? Ich habe hier einen Reisepass. Bundesrepublik Deutschland. Never. Aber wirklich alles. Never, never, ever. Glaube ich nicht. Das ist fake hier. Das passt zeitlich nicht. Oder?
More of Harrison Knight's German books.
Just what I need.
It's an antique clock key, most commonly used to wind antique clocks.
Deswegen kann es nicht, also entweder ist er zwischendurch immer noch mal gereist und hat dann irgendwann noch seine deutsche Staatsbürgerschaft behalten. Ja, genau. Und hat dann später halt seinen Pass bekommen. Aber er ist doch mit 40 gestorben. Das heißt 1900, also nach dem Weltkrieg. Sie war 40, als er gestorben ist, oder um die 40. Also, da haben wir jetzt aber eine Unschärfe entdeckt, ja. Da haben wir eine Unschärfe entdeckt. Ist ja nichts Schlimmes. Ich sag bloß, es ist...
Nothing happens.
Okay, ich glaube, wir brauchen hier die geschlagene Stunde. Genau. Irgendwas wollte ich doch. Ach so.
Does this mean anything to you, Graham?
Sorry. No, Gabriel.
Kann die mir nichts zu Dings sagen? Nee, ne? Warte mal.
Gabriel looks fond.
Well,
Oma,
Graham,
ich
I'd
komme gleich
better
wieder,
get
Oma.
going.
Ich komme gleich wieder.
Don't take any wooden nickels, boy.
I'm trying, Graham.
Ich komme gleich wieder, Oma. Moment.